Okay, the mic is yours. You are now live.
Again, Assalamu alaikum. We want to start by saying, for Allah's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. I want to thank all of you all who are returning, and also if this is your first time to the weekly presentation of Why Be an Entrepreneur. I'm Tariq Abdul Mu'min. I'm the founder and director of the Entrepreneurs in the Institute. And currently, I serve as the imam for the Biloxi Islamic Center in Biloxi, Mississippi, and I'm the convener for the southern section of imams in our community. So that being said, what we do here is basically what the show title is, Why Be an Entrepreneur? And we always welcome all of you all to make some comments, some inputs on what we're trying to present here. I'm still a baby in doing this, and I want to learn and get you all's help as well. So what we do, and again, I'm just trying to give a brief explanation because I don't know if anyone is new. We share statements from our leader and teacher, Imam Muhammad. May God, peace and blessings be with him. But foremost and first, we come from verses from the Quran and try to make them, to the best of my knowledge, our knowledge, applicable to these present times in which we are living in. And because we do know our prophet, may the praise and peace of God be upon him, God's messenger, was a man of business, He just got tied up a lot after he received the revelation of the Quran with trying to establish a life that we are benefiting from up to this point today. Because had it not been for him fulfilling his mission, we might not be existing today as Muslims. So we're grateful to have that model still with us. So I said, we want to go ahead and do as we always have been doing, is doing our introduction of why we are here. And again, the program, I want to thank you for joining us. The program is Why Be an Entrepreneur. We want to thank AM 360 and the staff and the team and everyone there for accepting us to be part of the family. So as we always do, concerning this organization, this organization is organized to make sure that the enthusiasm for business growth stays with us, to make sure as many people as possible are involved with business in our neighborhoods. We are promoting and keeping things happening. Again, our teacher, Imam Muhammad, said, our business people, in paying recognition to his father, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, may Allah's mercy be with him as well, have to see our roots in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's call to financial responsibility, to business development, to some economic plan. We can't deny him that credit that he has earned. He was the one who excited us, the African American people. It was an excitement to have a bigger appetite for not only wealth, but also for bigger responsibility that gives bigger respect. We have to grow financially. Our community cannot support our schools, our mosques, our religious and spiritual needs if we don't have money. We have to have some money. I am not going to be stupid sitting around here waiting on some rich Arab, some rich Iranian to give me some money. I don't want that. My self-respect don't want that. So the best way is the way that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us. Do for self. We have to grow. We have come to a point in our growth as a Muslim community in America that if we don't create finances for ourselves and our children, we can't and won't grow anymore as an impactful and productive Muslim community in America. You just can't have Islamic life in your heart and in your spirit. Islamic life has to be expressed in Islamic structures. Islamic life has in halal businesses. Islamic life has to be expressed in homes owned by Muslims, in factories owned by Muslims, yes, in productive land owned by Muslims, in shipping, in transportation for shipping products owned by Muslims, in cars, in buses, in trucks, trains, and airplanes owned by Muslims. I think as Muslims, we should just shout when someone says, come, let us make an effort to improve our business circumstances. We should just shout, hey, let's go, let's go. We should be ready to go. We have to get rid of the fear of not being able to succeed in business. We cannot have a healthy community or a healthy morale, good morale for our community if we don't have a showing in business growth or business development. It's a must. It will be heavy on our spirit. It will be taxing our spirit if we don't have a business showing in our community. Business is a must. You have to produce for yourself. Take care of your own. That means your own neighborhood too. We need people of like interests, especially business interests. If you know each other and you know something is happening in your area by persons of good character, and they are contributing to the business growth of our association of members, their people in their locale should try to tie up with them. If they have like minds, like interests, tie together. And we do need organizations that organize just to make sure that the enthusiasm for business growth stays with us and to make sure as many people as possible are involved with business of our neighborhood. We need organizations just of business people to promote and keep things happening. And that's why I chose who we are about at the Entrepreneur and Development Institute. After having read this last statement, I thought I would drop about our about us statement from that. And I'm thankful to grateful for Allah for sending us that great mind in the flesh body of Imam one through Muhammad. Do anyone have any input or comments before we go to our next presentation? Please do so. We want this to be interaction.
Assalamu alaikum.
Go ahead, dear sister.
Oh, thank you, Brother Imam. That goes back to the previous program with Brother DeLacy, Brother Michael, and Brother Rabani in Making it in the Land of Plenty. And Brother Amin brought forth the question of seeing so many Hispanics in the building trade and not our brothers. And Brother Rabani was just reiterating us, it might have been him or Brother Blair, us coming together. We have so many skills among ourselves that we are not utilizing. And if we look back, some of us 40, 50, 60 years old, we can remember when we were building houses from the ground. You know, yes. we had, they may call mom and pop shop, but we were in business for ourselves. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just have to go back and follow the blueprint in doing for self. And we'll supersede a lot of things that's occurring now. We just have to unify ourselves collectively and even some aspects individually and do for self. I'll stop there. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay. And I think it just occurred to me, I wasn't sharing that screen. Oh, wow. So you all please forgive me. Please forgive me. Okay, well, thank you. All right. Okay, now we're getting ready to look at this verse from the Quran. And as we always want to do, we have to go with what Allah says, therefore most and first. And where we're coming from is chapter 35, and that is Surah Fatir. And where Allah says here that inna ladina yatluna kitab Allah. He say, truly those who, and I like to translate this yatluna as not only recite, it means to study or research too. And he's speaking to us, in the present future tense, which is God's book. And he tell us that in the Aqim Salat, we have to establish the prayer. وَأَنْفَقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ, and we spend a give of what he has provided us with, of them, as they translated them with. Siran, we can do this secretly. وَعَلَانِيَةً, or we can do it in the opening. But if you do it in the opening, be careful on how you go about doing that, so that boasting and bragging in a way you shouldn't do that. If you do it to encourage someone else to do it as well, well, my understanding and what I have heard others say, learned others say, that's acceptable to do it in that fashion. And so God go on to say in conclusion that Yarjuna, you can expect or hope tijaratin, to have a business or commerce that lan tabur. And again, he ends this with a present future tense expression too. So this help us with countering the fear of failure when it comes to business establishment. So how do we get rid of the fear of business failure? Well, of course, God's word should be enough. After reading this verse, hearing this verse, that should take away all fear. But we know God have inspired great minds to come up with some strong recommendations and suggestions for us. One of them here we begin with is from a great book that I have that was written by a great author. Lack of a definite purpose, goal, or chief aim. Lack of ambition to move past mediocrity. A negative mental attitude. Lack of self-discipline. Lack of vision and imagination sufficient to recognize favorable opportunities. And they go on, but we want to go over here and look at verse 30 following verse 29 from the same chapter. God say, he will pay them their rewards or their benefits, and he will increase for them, give them increase out of his bounty, for he is all forgiving, most ready and appreciative. So this is what God's saying of himself, who he is. So this is one of my many verses in the Quran. That's a big motivator for me. I mean, the whole book is a motivator for me. But in putting this piece together, it's like it stay with me all the time. And when I'm trying to keep myself focused on what I'm trying to establish myself as a businessman. And then it go on to say, use of race, gender, or circumstances as reasons for inactivity. The lack of belief in the existence of an infinite intelligence. Ill health. Lack of persistence in carrying through to finish that which you start, unwillingness to go the extra mile or render a service, the habit of running away from unpleasant circumstances instead of mastering them. The desire to get something from nothing. So this is from Think and Grow Rich, a black choice, authored by Dennis Kimbrough and Napoleon Hill. So this is one of the many self-help books. The first self-help book that I got is the Quran, and as all of us, that's our main self-help book. So that's the source that this comes from, because I have witnessed. If you go back up to the one say use of race, I've heard a lot of people of our ethnic group say, well, we're not going to be able to do such and such. Well, foremost and first, we need to start doing it amongst ourselves first, and you will see a big change. So before we go on, I yield for any feedback, comments, please do so. Okay, we'll continue. Now, again, I know many of you have seen this before, but I just love, pardon me, I just love this scene from this movie. Uh, uh, and this is from A Raisin in the Sun. The book was written by Lorraine Hansberry, was a stage play too. So this is the conversation between, I hope I didn't go too far here. No, I didn't. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. So it starts off with the role, and I'm coming from the movie version that Sidney Poitier played in. He played the character Walter Lee, and he said Charlie Atkins was one too, when he wanted me to go into the dry cleaning business with him. Now he's grossing over $100,000 a year, $100,000 a year. So I haven't did the numbers on to see what that will be worth today from the time period that this movie was did. I think it was in the early 60s, late 50s. And then Ruth, who was played by Ruby Dee, said, Lena, and Lena, Claudia McNeil played the mother-in-law. What are you going to do about helping him, Lena? You mean about Walter and his liquor store, in which she did have a good, didn't want to open up no liquor store. And you can see here in the next words that come up. And she said, Ruth said, I'm worried about him. And then the response, Lena said, but look, honey, I'm getting too close to the time for me to meet my maker, and I don't want that on my ledger. So Ruth, like Walter Lee said, I expect people will always be drinking them some liquor, even when they can't make it with the rent. And a lot of that is still true today. And so the conversation go on. Lena, that doesn't mean I got to be the one to sell it, because this Ruth, we ain't no business people. And that's what I'm focusing on, is that statement. We ain't no business people. We just plain working folks. And that still exists in a lot of minds of people today, that we're no business people. We just plain everyday working folk. So Ruth says, ain't nobody business people until they go into business. Walter Lee say, colored people ain't never going to get ahead till they start taking chances on different things in this world, investments and things. And then the final statement, Miss Lena said, what's done got into you, girl? Walter Lee done finally sold you on investing. So we have to conquer that type of concept that we're not business people. Any comments on that before we go on? Okay. Now, from Imam Muhammad on dealing with business investments. The African American carry the greatest burden of social fear in this country. Much of it is due to past conditioning under white supremacy. This is what we have to realize. A fierce select will have to break out of that kind of conditioning and insist that those who work with us and share our field be not afraid to make a mistake. There are pencils with erasers, so don't be afraid to write and make a mistake. If you make a mistake, erase it. Many African Americans fear to invest their time and money in something that will require a follow-through of work and study. They trust gambling more than they trust venturing into business. A business investment is less than a gamble. That is why they don't call it a gamble. They refer to it in privacy or in certain restricted situations as a risk. But business in itself is not gambling. Business is planning. When it comes to planning, we give up because it requires thought and follow through. The greatest and most exacting fear that take place the most from our potential or our ability is the fear to be wrong. When the Caucasian said that we were not equal with him and that our intelligence was inferior to his, it made us so afraid to make a mistake. Many of us think that any mistake we make reinforces or helps to substantiate that we are inferior. Most of our failure in academia, business, and many other areas are due to this fear that we will make a mistake, that we will be caught wrong. There are people who come to the masjid where I reside as imam, people who see me every Friday and every Sunday, but they are not supporting members of our community in any way other than just being present. Yet I know there's help out there amongst them, but no one with help comes forward because they are shy, afraid of making a mistake, of being wrong. You should not be afraid to make a mistake or be afraid to lose. Don't be afraid to risk losing in an investment. You may have to lose before you win. Losing will give you the experience to win. When you lose, you will study what caused you to lose. Some of the greatest help that you can get in acquiring knowledge is from making mistakes. When you do something wrong and detect your mistake, it sticks with you a long time. It becomes engraved. Thus, losing after making an effort can be turned into an advantage in the acquisition of knowledge. And this is from a lecture or article Imam Muhammad gave. Business requires strength. Business requires strength. Any comments? Please do so. Questions? We need to go back on anything. Please do so. Okay, go ahead. Walaikum assalam.
Sister Mary again. I think a lot of time we get discouraged when we make mistakes. You know, we even put a label on ourselves as being a failure. But it's something that Brother Les Brown said: if you fall down, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And a lot of times when we fail, we don't ask other people, like a question that maybe could support, like what you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
We won't go to each other seeking help. We just put a label on ourselves and we feel defeated. But like you said in that article, he's telling us, going forward in spite of the failure, because a lot of times you can turn a failure into a success. What they said, nothing beats a failure but a try. So
that's right.
That's up there.
Did you say Les Brown?
Yeah, he said if you fall down, try to land on your back.
I thought that's what you talking about. I thought it sounded like she said the motivator.
Yeah, because if you land on your back, you can see how to rise yourself up. But if you fall the other way, you get nothing to motivate you to, to get up. So I've used that in so many
Yeah.
scenarios in my life, Brother Les, I've been following him for a long time.
Me too. You're gonna get me to go find some of his lectures I got.
I got several
Yeah,
CDs, different thing, books and publications. But Allah bless the brother with a wealth of knowledge, and so
yeah,
many people have patterned themselves after him.
yeah.
To be successful, be very successful. And I
And that's
stop there.
why, I wear that red tie that you see in my image I have here, because he
Oh,
said
okay.
it represents power. I didn't want
Um,
y'all was thinking I wore it because I support Trump,
thank you,
because he
brother.
like red ties too. But anyway, let me quit that. Maybe I should have said that right there. Let me go on. I thought I had a few more here. I had a few more here on this slide, so that's why I pulled it back up.
Mhm.
Okay, this here, why people miss business opportunities. People regret missing business opportunities. Is anyone else, before I go on, I'll pause right quick. Is there anyone else? Okay. People regret missing business opportunities due to imagining loss, wealth, lifestyle, or impact, often seeing successful outcomes in hindsight. But many also regret missed.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
There is one other person who had their hand
I
up.
yield to
You hear
that
that click,
person.
click? That's a telephone person.
Go ahead. Who is it? Give me your name, because I'm not looking at the screen.
Alhamdulillah. Assalamu
Who
alaikum,
is
Mr.
this?
Bilal.
Bilal. Okay, Bilal the
Bilal.
poet.
Yeah, Alhamdulillah. Praise
Yes,
to
sir. Go
Allah.
ahead, Bilal.
Look, okay. Now, this is something that I've done some studies on, and it was in conflict with brothers who had basically done the whole show about that, and concerning Napoleon Hill. So what I did, I knew some of the things that I had in my mind. I said, but let me see what they say about it. So, the good things, right? So the good thing I said, let me see what they say concerning his character and his business. Time name, scammer, say he had some kind of relationship as far as dealing with Andrew Carnegie, Woodrow Wilson. Also, he would fail in school. He had these schools, like he had an auto mechanic school, but what else, build another school, and he'll take that money from that, close that down, use that money to do something else. So the bottom line is that as a person, he was not, from what I just read, as a person, he wasn't about all that. And I want to get something on that, right? Christianity, by all standards, it was all that, right? To all masses of people. But we know that ain't the thing.
Bilal,
So I want to
what's
put
not the
that
thing? Do you say Christianity is
the,
not the
the
thing?
fact is that, yeah. Yeah,
Did you
in other
say
words, as
Bilal,
far
hold
as
on. Did you say Christianity is not the thing?
look, let me do
Because
this.
reason I'm interrupting,
Christianity,
we don't want to make this
yeah, yeah,
in let me finish, please,
yeah.
sir. Yield to me just for a minute, please, for a second. We don't want
Okay,
to have that type of conversation here, using language like that.
okay, okay,
If you yield, don't
okay,
please
okay,
don't do that. Okay?
okay, okay. So I'll leave that as that.
Stick to
But
why we
put
are
it, okay,
here
we'll
on
do that.
entrepreneurship. That is the main purpose of this presentation.
Okay, well, we'll leave it right at Dale Carnegie, and I mean Napoleon Hill, and I would advise everybody to check him out.
Okay,
And,
thank
and
you.
I'll leave it like that.
Yes, sir. Thank
You're
you.
welcome, brother.
So we want to go on with why people
You're welcome,
miss business opportunities. People regret missing business opportunities due to imagining loss, wealth, lifestyle, or impact, often seeing successful outcomes, pardon me, in hindsight. But many also regret missed chances because they delayed starting, waiting for the perfect moment, instead of taking small steps, realizing the pain of inaction often outweighs the risk of the failure. Common scenarios include turning down early startup roles, not pursuing a hobby business that later boomed, or feeling pressure to stay in a stable but unfulfilling job. Common regrets and scenarios. What if business ideas? That developing an idea but not taking it to the market, only to see someone else succeed with the same concept later. And for example, you have people who have restaurant ideas, a product pitch to investors, and I don't want to name the quote unquote cell phone company, but I think many of you all know who they are or were. They failed to move on some things in the cell phone industry. Also, one of the companies that make photos and things, it might be the same one in the same company, but they failed to move with the transition and the changes in the technologies that was coming about in cell phones and cameras and things such as that. So now I don't even know if they exist anymore. Family business dilemmas. Choosing not to take over a successful family business due to the emotional challenges of personal fit or personal fit. Early career pivots. Leaving a stable job for an exciting, risky venture that paid off, but fearing the risk beforehand or regretting not taking such a chance earlier. Waiting for perfection. Spending years waiting for the right time of confidence to start a business only to regret the lost time. Any comments on this before I go to the next screen? Okay. Why people miss out? Fear and uncertainty, hesitation due to job constraints, health or fear of failure, and we talked about that in the previous slide, even when the opportunity was promising. Timing collisions, life events, or external factors like in pandemic, preventing participation. And a whole lot of people got wealthy during this last pandemic we had for almost 5 years. Prices went up and they still up and still going up. Underestimating potential, not realizing the commercial viability of a hobby or early stage ideal. Comments? Need to go back? Please please say so. We'll go back. Again, overcoming missed opportunities. Analyze, don't dwell. Conduct an after action review to learn. Then use the regret as fuel for the future success, not a burden. Forgive yourself. Accept that decisions were made with the information available then, and forgive yourself for not knowing the future outcome. Focus on the present. Schedule time for the regret, but actively postpone it when it arises, preventing it from hijacking your current performance. Start small. Recognize there is no perfect time. Small steps now can lead to future success. Keep doors open. Send thank you notes to past opportunities to maintain good relationships and remain open to new chances as life offers many more. So that concludes that. Do you all have any input or questions or concerns on any of this? Please do. So this next slide that was coming up is just another verse from the Quran from the same chapter, since I went to it, where we find Allah talking about gold, pearls, and silk garments. And as you see on the screen, since I went to it, I'm gonna go ahead and comment on here. And if you just joining us since we started this last year. These verses of the Quran that I selected, I try to show the current monetary value of these things that Allah mentions in the Quran, like from this verse right here, where he talks about what's the first one? He start bracelets from gold. Look at the multi-trillion dollar gold industry as of 2023, 202 billion, and its estimates uh, ranging from 12 trillion to 15 some trillion, larger estimates. And then he also mentioned in this same verse pearls, and this showing at the time I put this piece together the different type of pearls. Koya, $300 to $10,000 a piece. Freshwater, Italian, South Sea, natural pearls. And then the silk market. Global market is currently valued at 16.94 billion, with projections to reach 37.3 billion by 2032. And look at this mentions right in the Quran, talking about silk. And I do, there are some people based on where they're from and how they have been orientated when it comes to, I would say, men wearing silk. That I've heard them say because of a product I have. And the sister was trying to tell her husband when I was showing him the product, okay, that no, men can't wear silk. And I'm like, I disagree with that, because that just how they was orientated right here in the Quran. Somebody, we can wear a silk. Why? It comes from what Allah created. And so, do anyone have any input on that question before we go on to our next presentation here?
Yes, sir. Martha Nyla here.
Go ahead, Sis Martha. I'm so glad, because y'all gonna have me think I'm doing too good here, and I don't need to get no big head.
No. Alhamdulillah. No, the indication I read, when you're reading and studying, you want to be uh, in the line of doing what's right. Immediately, I can say I read the same thing. My husband and I were discussing about gold years ago, and about gold versus silver, and there were these indicators, written materials that indicated, okay, well, men wouldn't wear silk or brocade, they wouldn't wear gold, they would wear silver. And he didn't get rid of his gold, but the thing was, trying to, not realizing you're adjusting to a concept that someone is misleading. But how do you know that unless you have communal conversations and then go to dissecting it with the Quran? Alhamdulillah. I'll stop right there.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you brought that forward and everything, because that's going to help me even further. Because again, I would say the product that I have, the accessory that I try to put with that is what's more or less the silk. Okay, so as an accessory for that. But again, we have to carefully read and study the Quran, and I know all about that. And I recall something of a lecture Imam Muhammad was getting ready to give, and he made mention while in that lecture he left his wedding band in the washroom, and he put emphasis that it was a silver one, and that's still with me today. And I understand all of that, but I think that some people take it too far, and that it's haram. Like, no. And so, but that's just in everything, because the I don't want to go too much in my personal life, but I just have to make just say this. I'm currently I'm not married. Not saying I don't want to be married either now. I don't want to open up no conversation on that because we'll go off course here and everything. I'm not saying I don't want to be married or that I would never get married again, because I have to caution brothers on that so often, et cetera, particularly. But anyway, I still got my wedding band from my previous marriage, and it still looked brand new, even though I wore it all the time. I kept it clean, et cetera. And it's a silver one. So and everything. So any more input or comments before we go on? Okay, what we're going to look at for the getting into, I would say, the subtopic, because the Quranic verses that we gave is what is the main topic. So we're gonna call this the subtopic, and the strategies for building a successful entrepreneur mindset. You know, that make me think about, again, something I heard in times gone by that Les Brown said. You know, I heard him several times talk about you have to have a mindset. And so it's very, very important. Now, building a successful entrepreneur mindset in a successful business with these tips. Question: are you an entrepreneur who is struggling with self-doubt? Do you sometimes feel like you are not cut out to be an entrepreneur and that you're not going to succeed? Well, let me tell you something. Every successful entrepreneur has faced self-doubt at one point or another. But what sets them apart is their capability to overcome it and persevere. The following are some techniques and strategies for building, pardon me, I went too quick, for building a successful entrepreneur mindset. I'm still having a little problem here. Okay, for building a successful mindset. These key strategies will help you build a successful business and be confident that they will work for you. So we're dealing now with the power of positive thinking. The first step in building a successful entrepreneur mindset is to adopt a positive attitude. Positive attitude. People will try to discourage you. They're going to be talking about it's not going to work. Somebody else did it before. It didn't work. And there's so much going to be coming after you. So let's go on here. It's all about the power of positive thinking. If you believe you can achieve something, you're more likely to do it. You have to start envisioning this. You have to see it already being implemented and you doing what you want to do. So we go on. When faced with a challenge, instead of thinking, I can't do this, try reframing your thoughts to, what can I do to make this happen? Instead of your weaknesses, focus on your strengths and what you can bring. Next, you want to embrace your failure. One of the biggest fears of entrepreneurs is failure. But the truth is that failure is an inevitable part of the entrepreneur journey. Every entrepreneur has failed at some point or another. It's how you react to that failure that matters. And I'm right up in that group here where it says every entrepreneur has failed at one point. But I didn't stay down. Back up. I can tell you horror stories. Ooh, Lordy, I'm glad Allah gave me some strength. You put your trust and faith in your own Muslim brothers, and they do some crazy things, you know. But anyway, I try to keep my mind focused on Allah. And go on here. Say, instead of dwelling on failures, use them as learning experiences. Take the time to reflect on what went wrong and use those lessons to improve and do things differently next time. As Thomas Edison once said, I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that it won't work. It won't work. 10,000 ways. No failing here. Surround yourself with positive people. Your mindset is heavily influenced by the people you surround yourself with. Surrounding yourself with negative people who constantly bring you down will not help you build a successful entrepreneur mindset. Instead, surround yourself with positive, like-minded individuals who inspire you to improve. Join entrepreneur groups, and we are doing that on this presentation, and I think another presentation is called Making It in the Land of Plenty. And on this beautiful format, AM 360 we have, and streaming live on YouTube, and attend networking events to meet other entrepreneurs on a similar journey. Stay motivated with goal setting. Setting goals is an amazing way to stay motivated and focused on what you want to achieve. Start by setting long-term goals. Where do you want to be in 5, 10, or even 20 years? Break those long-term goals down into smaller, achievable milestones and set deadlines for when you want to achieve them. Don't forget to celebrate your achievements along the way. This will keep you motivated and focused on your end goals. Now, that's not saying go out and party, okay, and everything in that way. Take action and be resilient. One of the key differences between successful and unsuccessful entrepreneurs is taking action. Successful entrepreneurs don't wait for opportunities to come, they create them. But taking action isn't always easy. It requires a lot of hard work and resilience. You're going to face obstacles, setbacks, and failures along the way. But it's very important to keep pushing forward and not give up in the face of adversity. Embrace risk with a calculated approach. Entrepreneurship is inherently risky. You're building something from scratch, and there's no guarantee it will work out. But successful entrepreneurs don't shy away from risk. They embrace it with a calculated approach. Before taking any risk, it's important to research, excuse me, and weigh the pros and cons. Identify potential risks. Plan for how you're going to mitigate them. This will surely help you make informed decisions and increase your chances of success. Adopt a growth mindset. To build a successful entrepreneur mindset, you need to adopt a growth mindset. This means believing that you can grow and improve rather than thinking that your abilities are set in stone. With a growth mindset, you're more likely to take risks, embrace failure, and be resilient in the face of challenges. You'll also be more open to feedback and continuously learning and improving yourself in your business. The importance of self-care. Entrepreneurship can be incredibly demanding, both physically and mentally. It's important to take care of yourself if you want to build a successful business. This means getting enough sleep, eating a healthy diet, and exercising regularly. Now I know we just heard last week, I seen a whole presentation on that, but this piece, came with it too. So to remind us, because all this go hand in hand. So don't ever forget to take time for yourself and do things you enjoy. Go back on this one. Don't ever forget to take time for yourself and do things you enjoy. Burnout is a real risk for entrepreneurs. Regular breaks can help prevent it. Overcoming impossible. Go ahead. Was that someone needing to say something? Okay. Overcoming imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is a common feeling among entrepreneurs. It's the feeling that you don't deserve success and you will be exposed as a fraud. But the truth is that most successful entrepreneurs have felt this way at some point in their journey.
Assalamu alaikum, Imam.
Let me finish this last thing on here, and then we'll get to you, brother, if you will. One way to overcome imposter syndrome is to focus on your achievements and the value you bring to your business. Take time to acknowledge your success and the efforts you put in to get there. It is very helpful to remember that everyone has unique strengths and weaknesses. Instead of comparing yourself to others, focus on building your skills and knowledge. My dear brother, go ahead.
Yeah, I had my hand up. I was just wondering. I didn't know whether you was seeing it over. I thought you were changing.
No, sir, I'm not looking at that particular screen because it blocks some of my view to read this.
Yeah.
So go ahead, and my
I'm saying
apologies for that.
I was just chiming in to we did we have an import business. We import the black seed oil from Ethiopia, along with other items from time to time. So I just wanted to commend what you were doing and to give certify, yes, those things you were mentioning are challenges. We are always challenged with those as a small business. You're always going to face these challenges, but you just have to soldier on.
Thank you. Are you working with Rabani?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay, good. Because I used to sell black seed oil years ago, and I can't remember the supplier I was getting them from. Yeah. So I've spoken with him concerning distributing what you all's product. I hadn't just followed back up with him on doing it yet.
Yeah, we in the process of bringing some in now, getting the order in, so it'll be a good time, inshallah.
Yes, sir.
In a couple of weeks, we should have something moving forward.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And again,
just wanted to say that because we went through all those things you were talking about, and certainly we had to take it to that next level to be certified to bring products into the country. And we are certified to bring them in, to bring different products in, right?
Yes, sir. Well, no, that's why we're here. That's why we're doing what we're doing. I'm getting feedback because this helped me, and I want to be clear. I don't want to just be talking or reading and presenting from these slides I'm showing without feedback, because I think once we get input, feedback, suggestions, recommendation, it will help all of us grow and better understand and achieve ourselves and be better entrepreneurs, because I think we all want to be that if we're on this call today. And I thank you all for being present.
The things you're doing are very important. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I couldn't do it without you and the other ones that stand around, because I know some of you all probably be on the other programs before your program come on, and then the next program that come on and on. So it takes some discipline and some patience to do that. So thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone
Assalamualaikum.
else? Go
Yes,
ahead,
sir.
sister.
Oh, thank you so much, brother uh, Imam. What you share with us is worth its weight in gold. And you too are preparing us to make it in the land of plenty. And I want to ask you, so every week you supply Sister Manira with the PDF files for your program?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good. And we need to know that because we need to go back and get that information. Because what I see, if we apply what you have shared with us, even up until this point, we can become that successful business community. And I'll stop there. Mhm.
And what we want to do, and I'm not saying they have not been done yet, we want to identify everybody. And I would say, Carolyn, right now, I'm just saying for those of us in attendance this morning, and other ones that might not could have stayed here, identify and find out everybody who have a product or service business, and everything, because that's real important to do this. And then I know we have to be careful about promotion and everything, but I think we should still strive to find out, if I may say it in this context, to find out what everyone has available. Um, so, but thank you, because back to the presentation I'm making, for the most part, I have gone through all of them again and even revised them. Okay, like the one I just coming from the Quranic verses and everything. I went through that and revised that, updated it, and added that another section to that. But again, as I said before, if you didn't hear in my early stages or the beginning stages, though any of those slides where you see, that has the Quranic verses and the price points of the current price, the current prices of those products or services that's mentioned in the Quran. Well, I won't. Those slides are not available at all in PDF or in other format. But any of these slides, like I'm on now, even though I went through and make sure everything was correct, I can. If you all want me to go back from last week, I have to convert them to PDF, and then I'll send them to Sister Manira, even the ones from today, and I just didn't get around to doing it last week yet, from the last week ones. So, but yes, these slides are available to everyone. Okay, so I will get on that at my earliest, and it'll be multiple ones, so it probably will be five, because from the 2 or 3 I did last week, and from the 3 look like I'm gonna have today. Then this is the first one that will be converted on dealing with strategy of entrepreneurship, successful entrepreneurship. So I
Just
get
a
those
question.
converted and sent out. Go ahead.
Yes, I heard you mention your interest in knowing who's doing what and etc. Is there a business directory, and what about the National Business Association? Is there a directory for them, or for in there? I mean, in that regards, are you familiar with that?
I'm only familiar with the name, but I do know was some conversation mainly in the southern section at one time. Meeting with some over my years of being a part of the southern section of Imams, we talked about a business directory uh, years and years ago, but it never manifested. And I did bring it up last year, uh, after they appointed me to be the convener for the section. I always had it on my mind. It just happened to resurface even at
Yeah,
that point, and
so I'm in
so it's
Florida. I'm in
being
your
looked at.
section. Excuse me. I said I'm in Florida. I'm in your section as well.
Yes,
So
sir. Yeah.
I'd
That's
definitely be
yes, sir.
interested in that type of effort.
Yes, sir. Well, we I think, well, we can probably, let's try to work together and start trying to compiling it and finding out. And matter of fact, I think on one of the slides from what Imam Muhammad said, maybe it's not on the one I show every week, but I do know he said something that we need a Muslim business directory.
Yeah, we can start with
Yeah,
the
so
southern section. That'd be good. That'd be a good start.
yes, sir.
Be in proximity of each other, and it could be definitely feasible to coordinate more
Yeah.
together.
Okay. So now let's anyone else before we read this next slide. Building a support system.
Assalamu alaikum.
Go ahead.
Assalam. Go ahead, sister.
My name is Sister Rashida in Louisiana, and I just wanted to share with you all that we have been with Lifeline that comes on every morning, and the Mosque Cares. We've been working on a Muslim National Business Directory for a couple of years. And we've been collecting ads. And one of the things that we found is that we can't get a lot of support. So I would like to, and I have collected ads from around the country, and we suggested that we would put all of the Sister Clara Muhammad School in free, and we would call on the massages to support us by taking an ad and put in the directory. But we came to a standstill. And so we used to have meetings every Sunday. Brother Muhammad Sharif would bear witness. And it just stopped because some things was coming up, and my Sundays was doing some other things. But if you all start a directory, I would like to work with you all, or if y'all can support what we're doing, but some kind of way, if we could just get together. But we started collecting ads from everywhere, and we had a problem looking for a printer and a publisher, and so we found a few. So we're just being patient with Allah to guide us, and then just hearing y'all talk about this, I would like to join you or work with you all. So in the future, because it's so necessary. It's so necessary and very important. So I just wanted to share that. And I'm in Louisiana, but this we call it the Muslim National Business Directory.
What city? What city in Louisiana?
I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay. Well, look,
I'm in the west. I'm in the southwest. I'm in the southwest section.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Okay, my number, if you have a pen or pencil, whatever, ready, is 228-209.
Imam Tariq.
Yes.
I think I got the number, Imam Tariq, but I'm gonna write it down again.
In Biloxi, from Biloxi?
Yes, sir. And I heard you
that's me.
yesterday. And
Yes.
And I wanted to share with you yesterday. I don't know how to say it really, but Allah blessed me to be able to get emotional when I say this, to wash and shroud sisters' bodies when they make the transition. And I heard you yesterday. And so in the future, I like to talk to you about that, because we do need a class when we pass away. We want to go properly.
So you heard me make mention in my football yesterday?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh,
I was
okay.
listening.
Well, okay, go ahead and take my number. Right quick, go ahead and
give
take
me your
my
number and we will talk about that.
Yes.
I'm ready.
228-209-2877.
Yes, sir.
228.
Can I repeat that to you back?
Yeah, you read it back to me.
228-209-2877. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum.
Anyone else? Okay, I don't know what screen I okay. And did I do imposter syndrome?
Yeah, you started it.
Okay. Imposter syndrome is a common feeling among entrepreneurs. I read that one. I remember reading that one. Okay, so we're gonna go on the next one.
Assalamu alaikum, Imam Tariq.
Walaikum assalam. Who is this?
This is Muhammad Sharif from Mount Vernon, New York.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Brother Muhammad.
Right. Yeah, I've been working with Sister Rashida, just speaking with you, with our community directory.
Mm-hmm.
We've been working for a couple of years on this, and I'm glad the two of you have spoken. We can get together and give each other some support on this. Very needed.
Well, we'll try to come together and go with what we got and who we got.
Okay, good,
Yeah,
good.
you
Okay, so
know.
another question. How do we get in touch with you and let you know if we have products or services that we want to enter into the community? How do we get to you?
Can somebody who have my number type it? Are you on the phone or are you on Zoom?
I am on my phone, yes.
Okay, well, let me just give to you. It's 228.
Yeah, I got the number
Yeah.
already. I got the number already.
Oh, okay, you got my cell phone number. Okay, my
Yeah.
telephone number already. That's good then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just give me a call anytime. If I answer, I answer. If not, I'll call you back. You might want to leave me a message. I'll call back all numbers regardless.
Okay, right. I'll give you a call very soon.
Anyone else?
Okay.
Okay. To the if please put your phone on mute. Can put your phone on mute. So we hear background, please. Someone in the background, put your phone on mute. Okay, let's go on to building a support system. And I think that's what we are trying to do here. As an entrepreneur, you're going to face challenges and setbacks. Having a support system can make a huge difference in your ability to overcome those challenges. Rather, it's a mentor, a coach, or a group of like-minded entrepreneurs. Having people to turn to for advice and support can be incredibly helpful. Don't be scared to reach out to others and ask for help when needed. And we this group, we the mentors for each other, we the coach for each other, we the group for each other, we entrepreneurs. So this is right on time. Keep pushing, you've got this. Building a successful entrepreneur mindset requires a lot of hard work, dedication, and resilience. But by adopting a positive attitude, embracing failure, surrounding yourself with positive people, setting goals, taking action, embracing risk with a calculated approach, adopt a growth mindset, practice self-care, overcoming imposter syndrome, and building a support system, you'll be well on your way to build a business empire. Remember, every successful entrepreneur has faced self-doubt at one point or another, but it's how you overcome that self-doubt that sets you apart from the rest. So keep pushing forward, stay motivated, and never give up on your entrepreneur plans. You've got this. And that concludes this particular one. I'm trying to check the time. We doing good. I might use all my 2 hours today. Okay. Any questions before we switch slides or comments? Please do so.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Yes, this is Brother Amin from Los Angeles, Sister Karen Muhammad STEMschool.com. What are you reading from, my brother? The book or something that you're reading from?
Well, what? Give me your name again, brother.
Amin Yasir Muhammad.
You say Amin?
Amin, yes, sir.
You say A-M-I-N or A-M-M-E-N? I'm not
Yeah,
hearing you clearly. I
A-M-E.
just trying to pronounce your name correctly.
Right, Amin, A-M-E-E-N.
Okay, Amin, yes. Well, how these presentations came about from research and study from many sources. Yeah, I've been researching and study. I've been researching and study probably for what I think around since 2015 on this, and working on it.
Yeah,
Go ahead, sir.
You talked,
sir.
Last month or so. Yes.
You
can you hear me?
in and out.
Okay.
Repeat that again, my brother.
I just wanted to say, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to say, for a little while, you was talking about mistakes. I think you reading something from me, ma'am, about making a mistake.
Yes.
And here's a quote. Here's a quote from Robert Kiyosaki. He said, "In school, we learn that mistakes are bad, and we are punished for making them. Yet, if you look at the way humans are designed to learn, we learn by making mistakes. We learn to walk by falling down. If we never fell down, we would never walk. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh, that's from Rich Dad Poor Dad. I have that book too, and I think I got
Yes,
the
sir.
one that he wrote with who is our president now? Why We Want You to Be Rich.
Right. Why we
Okay.
want you to be rich, right? Alhamdulillah.
As a matter of fact, Imam Muhammad recommended for us to get that book, Why We Want You to Be Rich.
That's right, he sure did.
Yeah.
And also the greatest book that I think is one, The Conspiracy of the Rich, Robert Kiyosaki.
Mhm.
He said the 8 new rules of money.
Yes, I'm looking at getting that one too.
Right, he wrote that during the big crash of they call it the Great Recession that we all went through and lost our homes and apartment buildings, and the whole world lost out. The Federal Reserve ran out on us. So anyway, Conspiracy of the Rich is a great book.
Thank you.
That Robert.
Thank you. Well, like I said,
thank you, brother.
all my information come from business sources, self-help motivational lectures and things that I have been listening to over the years, and that led me to do and to be where I'm at now. And the sister brought up Les Brown earlier. I'm a big I'm a big follower and fan of his too, and everything. And I have several of his lectures around here somewhere. But and I don't think I have I think I got a book of his too. Now I might be wrong on that, but again, my information come from me reading and researching, and because I started out for myself, doing this for myself. I had no at the time I had no intention of doing this. I just wanted to know for myself about how do I start a business, what I need to do to be a business person. I worked for one company for 15 years straight, and probably out of that 15 years, maybe missed no more than 5 days of work out of that 15 years. Can't ever remember being late. And they came to us, called us in the office, and laid out a new plan of what they was transitioning to. And he said, "Oh, by the way, tomorrow's y'all last day." And I won't say the word I said. I didn't. But anyway, my point is, I'm like, "No, I don't want to go through this no more." And I started researching and trying to find out what I need to do, and everything. So, and then of course, and learning that, hey, our prophet was a man doing business. And there's nowhere in the Quran where Allah say, "Hey, stop doing business." But we know the time was something maybe interrupted to a point when he had to put their lives on the line for us to be still existing today. But that whole peninsula, verses in the Quran like the Surah Al-Quraysh talking about going back and forth doing business. So yes, my years of researching, reading books, reading articles, and looking at this and say, wow, I'm gonna use this, and developing these presentations to where we are now. I don't want to say where I'm at now because we're doing this together. So anyone else before we start this one?
Yes, Imam Tariq, this is Muhammad Sharif again.
Yes, sir.
That's like what Allah say, where you are, I will eventually bring you together. And we're coming
Yes, sir.
together
That's
here.
it.
Right on Robert Kiyosaki, you, Brother Mean, who just called in, Les Brown. So we all on the same pages here. Praise
Yes.
be to Allah.
Yes. Yeah, and we can't ever, again, we got to avoid negative thoughts or in people who has a fear of failure. You just got to keep on pushing.
Yes, sir.
That reminds me of what Curtis Mayfield said in his song, "Keep on pushing."
Keep on pushing.
Yeah, and then what did James Brown say in his song? "I don't want nobody to give me nothing.
I get it
Open up the
myself.
door, I get it for myself." So y'all don't get me started trying to sing now, but anyway.
Allahu Akbar.
So assalamu alaikum. I was really impressed. I was really impressed and fascinated by your research into halal, something that Almighty God Allah gave us as Muslims.
halal, and that you had done research and you had come and really analyzed the whole industry. And brother Mel, I bless you for that, because that was some brilliant research you had done. I heard you.
Are you talking about that slide I showed about the halal industry?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a slide or not, but I just heard it. Heard you talk about it, and
well,
I've been thinking about it. Allah
I don't
gave
know
that to us.
if I don't get to it today, remind me next week, and I'll try to pull it back up next week so we can review that, because we do need to keep it out front. I was looking at a recent post on social media from a colleague of mine, and I'm being selective about naming and where. I don't want to be but anyway, he was showing on his post that a certain grocery store had a certain halal company's food in their grocery store, and we all familiar with the halal food provider in the grocery store chain. And I came close to doing that here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. I even contacted the halal provider of the chickens and stuff, and I pulled back from that, and I'm like, how are we going to benefit as a community, except we'll be eating quote unquote halal food? But the question that I asked myself, how are we going to benefit financially? Those two entities was going to benefit, and definitely that grocery store is not Muslim owned. They definitely going to benefit. And so the rep from the halal company did respond back to me and about et cetera, bringing in that particular line of halal foods to this grocery. But I didn't do a follow through with it. And I'm still questioning it now, because again, I'm just trying to look at how are we going to benefit? But that lead me to say this: we need to look at establishing something small amongst ourselves to do it. And so but anyway, I'm gonna yield there, and we're gonna go on to the next one, unless someone got something to say on that before I go on. Okay.
Well, the thing that I found great, that you said was that the halal industry in the United States was not even controlled by Muslims.
Right.
The halal, the biggest halal distributors are not even owned by Muslims. It's owned by them other people,
Right. Yeah. Well, I would say one of those particular industries were owned by someone from another faith tradition. And I'm not faulting them. They're doing what they're supposed to do. So we want to go on with looking at mistakes that threaten startups. The more you know them, the less you will make them. So countless startups fail every year, but there are not countless reasons that they fail. I'm talking to entrepreneurs, and this is from an article that I was reading, so I thought it'll help us here. 3 to 4 times a week, and they are coming to me with the exact same issue, says Tariq Camille. I hope this person is Muslim. Let me not say that. A serial entrepreneur with 5 lunches under his belt. Most recently, a founder and CEO of the communication platform Circle. People are falling into the same traps over and over. If they could just avoid those common mistakes, the chance of their company being successful would significantly increase. He's not the only one who thinks so. Mentors, VCs, and serial entrepreneurs all say they routinely see entrepreneurs fall prey to a common set of mistakes. So what are they? You should know. Number 1, not prepping your life. No one show up to run the Boston Marathon without training first. The same should be true for startups. You need to warm up with such pre-launch training, from getting proper rest and nutrition and soaring up relationships. You have to be rigorous about making sure you're ready and that every area of your life is in check. Kamal says, a startup will take a toll on your life, guaranteed. If friends and family don't understand what's about to happen and are not supportive of your vision, they'll cause personal misery, not to mention a major distraction from the business. That's supposed to be from. Anyway, have a candid conversation to manage expectations. Tell them, I'm going to give this my attention. And while it doesn't mean you're not important to me, it may feel that way, Kamal says. You need to make sure these areas are buckled up because entrepreneurship will shine a light on whatever parts of your personal life is weak. 2, confusing a product with business. In this age of apps, Atlanta-based entrepreneur and company strategist Eric Hostcloth says wannabe traps don't always know how to build upon their success. A product solves an individual need, he says, but a real business has something come back for again and again. Here's how to make the distinction. Do you have potential revenue streams beyond the customer's initial purchase of product? That's a key factor for prospective investors who want to see what the next thing is and want to make sure that there is something longevity beyond what you're offering today, Hostcloth said. Are you going to license the technology to someone else? What does the business look like in 3 or 5 years? That's a big concern from an investor's perspective, and that will help you determine if you even have a business at all. 3, not paying for expertise. We say for respect. You're not good at everything. You can't be. And yet every part of a business should be done expertly, particularly the tricky stuff like taxes and legal issues. Structuring not only the company, but also potential investments in the wrong way can come back to haunt you, says serial entrepreneur Greg Roth. He's the CCO of Redago, a hardware engineering firm based in Oregon. So where it really matters, don't download some free online guide or think you can handle it yourself. Find an expert whose job is to know exactly what you need to do. The place Roth says entrepreneurs are particularly in need of an expert eye. When drafting the terms, you accept investments on, he says. If you don't pay attention to things within the term sheets, like liquidation preferences, that could hurt you on the future sale of the company to the point where the founders may end up with nothing. Number 4, ignoring data. Magical thinking can kill any business, says Lisa Stone, the San Francisco-based co-founder of the online community BlogHer. You can't just believe you'll succeed. You need to actually crunch some numbers and figure out if you will succeed. There has to be data that validates your big idea is real, or at least provides a leading indicator that it could be. Once you collect that data, use it to create key performance indicators or milestones to show your ideal or if your business is progressing. Stone speaks from experience. In the early stages of BlogHer, she and her partners were told that women would never blog in large enough numbers to support an annual conference. But the data they collected from the first small test conference confirmed their belief that the plan would work. The event, organized in 4 months, sold out with more than 300 women showing up and netted the company's team $60,000, which was poured back into the company. I'm going to pause here for a minute, make comments here. I had to start learning to do that on a product I had, instead of trying to use it for my living expenses. I learned a valuable lesson, a valuable lesson. So now all of it go back into this particular product that I have. And that's just really focus on that. 5, scaling too quickly. Here's a scary number. 74% of high growth internet startups fail because they scale too fast, too soon. That's according to a report by Startup Genome. It happens a lot, says Eric Ranla, co-founder and managing partner of Los Angeles-based Mucker Capital. People raise money, think they're flush with cash, and then spend it on the wrong things. By the time they realize that spending isn't getting them anywhere, it's often too late. What are they spending on? On anything from marketing to hiring too many employees too quickly. But the basic problem is the same. They're draining the budget on things that aren't essential to expansion or determining whether their business is even viable. When you start to spend money, you need to either have more or have a way to generate more. Allah says, because if you run out of money before you can actually hit any real business milestone, you're going to have a very hard time raising more. 6, clinging to the wrong idea. You have to realize that sometimes you're pushing up the wrong hill, or you're pushing into a brick wall you're never going to break through. Allah says, this mistake is especially prevalent among first-time entrepreneurs and people entering an unfamiliar market. Folks who just fall in love with their original idea and can't recognize how much is failing. Don't go on gut. Go on evidence. Evaluate how your product fits in the market. Maybe you run experiments on what tactics or product tweaks draw in customers the best. Or maybe you closely track how much it costs you to acquire each customer. And if small tweaks make that cost go up or down. For consumer internet companies, for example, there are 5 or 6 tried and true ways to acquire customers. Allah said, and if you try them for 6 or 12 months and none of those tactics are working, that might be a sign that there's something wrong. 7, failing to delegate is perhaps the most classic problem in management. Rather than give up control and trust others to take the reins, you try to do everything yourself and fail. The instinct is understandable, of course. Most good entrepreneurs are very strategic, so they don't want to have worry about whether the fine details are being accomplished. Host Klaus said, so what to do? Delegate, obviously. Start by drawing up processes, almost like a good guidebook, for how to do things the way they should be done. That way, you'll feel calmer and your employees will have the directions they need. If you don't do that, you will hire too quickly because you'll think, I've got to bring somebody in because I'm so overwhelmed, he said. Well, if you're overwhelmed and no one can take anything off your plate, you're never going to get out of that state. You have to delegate. 8, thinking money solves everything. Struggling entrepreneurs often think that if they can just raise another round of financing, their problems will be solved. But money doesn't work like that. It can't solve a fundamental issue with a business model, says Carter Cass, professor of entrepreneurship at the Kellogg School of Management and venture partner at Chicago-based Pittsburgh Group Venture Capital. If your business model isn't sound, throwing money at it is not going to work, Cass says. You have to fix the problem first and then raise the money. Doing it the other way around, you'll only get in more trouble. 9, underestimating how long sales take. Let's get this out of the way. Sales take time. Many startups even think they can close a big enterprise account in 3 to 6 months. But in reality, a deal like that can take more than a year. And if your business plan doesn't account for that, you're going to be in trouble. They have to sell into the C-suite, the line manager, the technology folks, and the product manager. There are multiple levels of approval, and then there's a scoping and discovery and implementation process, Cass says. I've seen many companies run out of money because they have been too aggressive in estimating their timelines. 10, fear and failure. Fear and failure. We just heard a Quranic verse and other persons talk about this. Fail fast may be a popular catchphrase, but Camille isn't a fan of it. And I hope he is Muslim and he read that verse in the Quran we already reviewed. No matter how much entrepreneurs may glorify failure, there's still that scary word fail. And anybody wants to be the opposite of success. And excuse me, nobody wants to be the opposite of success. It's really the wrong term because failing means there's no benefit. And most times that's just not true, he says. Change the mindset. You didn't fail, you ran an experiment that will improve your business. It's learning, Camille says, although it hurts a little bit each time. Now, if you learn something and you can apply that lesson to move forward and make your business better. So were these still 10 types of startups failures? Sure, technically, but that just means there are also 10 ways to learn. Comments? Questions? That was the end of that one. Do we need to go back over anything? Let me know. We good?
You have 2 hands raised.
Go ahead. I can't see you on the screen because of where I have it at. So go ahead and let me know who I'm listening to. Please go ahead. Manira, can you see that name?
DeLacy, do you need to speak? Your hand is still raised. Okay, his hand might have been raised from previously. So go right ahead.
Next person?
No more hands raised.
Okay, then. Okay. Well, and just reading this last sermon is from this. What did I do? Oh Lordy, I'm having a challenge time today. Nobody knows it. Can you all still hear me?
Yes, you're being heard.
Okay.
It just says that you need to refresh.
That's what I'm trying to do here. I done lost my screen. And I don't know what I've done here. So please forgive me. No, it's not pulling back up here. I'm still connected though, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we up on the coming into the second hour, Sister Manira and audience, and I can't figure out what it's doing here. And Okay. Okay, here we go. Do anyone else have any feedback or comments on the presentation we just made on mistakes? Because I don't really want to get into the third one that I had prepared, because it'll run us over the next 20, 25 some more minutes we got left for the program. And so if anyone need to go back over anything, we can do that. Have any questions? Is the brother still on that asked me about the halal industry? Are you still with us? He's not, because I can pull that up right quick, because that'll be a short showing. All right. Oh, this is it right here. Great, right on time. Okay, this is the current data, and what did I do with it? There it is. Is that up on the screen, Manira?
Yes, yes, it's up on the screen.
Okay, so this is what I think he was making a mention of: the global halal market. The current value is estimated at $2.71 trillion, and that was as of 2024. The market projected to reach 5.91 trillion by 2033. Asia Pacific is the is currently the largest market, with over 48.5% of the market share in 2024. And dominant sectors: halal food and beverages, halal cosmetic, and halal medicines. Due to the increasing Muslim population, the awareness of halal certification, and increasing demand for halal certified products across various sectors. So we have that same thing here in America. We have a large Muslim population here from all over the world. So I think we those who we need to find out more about it. See, can we get up in there? So we're not going to go over all of this. So we're going to, if there's not any questions, we can conclude the presentation for this week, and we'll be back next week to we'll pick up on this next one next week, as well as some more. So before I close out, I still see the Lacey hand up and Amira's hand up. Do you all have any comments or questions? Do anyone else have any comments or questions? Well, Sister
Martha
Manira,
Nyla here.
go
Assalamu
ahead,
alaikum.
Sister. Walaikum assalam.
Alhamdulillah. Thank Allah for everything that you've submitted, sharing. And I want to let everyone know too that we do have a new presentation starting today at 1 with the, I say doctor, our dear sister Sultana Ali that will be coming on and should be sharing on some information on the human family.
Is that 1 o'clock East Central?
Eastern time.
Okay.
Yes, sir. 1 o'clock
Be 12
Eastern.
my time. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so very much
You're
again.
most welcome.
Assalamu alaikum.
And if again, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just wanted, this is Hajalala, Georgia. I wanted to mention something about the halal. You know, everywhere they have the halal signs, but not all the time the halal is halal.
That's right.
And so you have to be very careful on that halal business. but it's a doggone shame that a supermarket has halal food in it. And I think I might know which one it is, but I won't mention it either. We
Yeah,
ain't trying to promote nothing for nobody
right.
else. However, my imam had a deep freezer full of halal. Do you know that food went bad because nobody supported that master with the
Mm,
halal meat, and he had it
mm,
for months. And I'm talking about Muslims who just want to eat whatever's in the supermarket, opposed to asking for halal meal, halal food. They'll go in the supermarkets and buy whatever meat that's in there and whatever chicken
mm.
that's in there. So that's really not a good thing. But we're not big supporters of one another. I mean, we talk a good game, but we're not big supporters of one another. And for them to sit down at the table and eat non-halal food, like the Imam, Chief Imam W.D. Muhammad, Allah said, we ought to be shamed just sitting down is eating something and not making sure that it's halal food.
Yeah.
But he said it in terms of other things. You walk out your door, you don't even see a store that belongs to you.
Mm,
You should feel bad about that. I
mm-hmm,
know I do.
mm-hmm,
I know I do.
mm,
And I'm particular when I go in the store, like I asked the restaurant guy, is this halal chicken? Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yes, sister. Halal chicken. I see a sign up there. I said, I said, okay, astaghfirullah.
mm,
Um, it's on you, brother. It's on you. If you want to sell another Muslim a non-halal meal and tell them that it's halal, it's
mm,
on you.
mm.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you for listening. Assalamu
You're
alaikum,
most welcome.
everyone.
If is anyone else, I see a hand up,
Assalamu alaikum.
2251 area code.
Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, well, assalamu alaikum.
Okay, I had my hand up. This is Samir. Salah said some of what I want to say, but there's also a distinction in halal. There's halal and there's halal zabiha. I think halal is basically how they pronounce the name of Allah over the meat, and then there's the halal zabiha where it's to identify what type of feeding that animal has, because sometimes if they're being fed the same thing as everybody, if those animals are being fed the same thing as every other animal, then they can't really be saying that they halal. But the feeding is so important, and making those distinctions between halal and halal zabiha. I'll stop there.
Okay, great. Okay, anyone
Yes,
else? Go ahead.
yes, and absolutely on that. My farm had halal cows. That's all we had. That's all we had. And we still didn't get no support.
Mm.
Mm.
I
Well, sister,
mean,
I would like to say this. I can understand you by not what you mean you didn't get any support, but if you ever
no,
see a
sir.
means and a way of trying it again, try it again. Don't give up. You
Oh,
might have
no.
to
Oh,
you
no.
might have to leave the quote unquote Muslim market because there are people out there who are not Muslim who are want halal food. Okay. And one reason that reinforced this is again our supplier or our donor of our yearly turkeys for the Thanksgiving turkey distribution we do. Well, when I was talking to one of the persons, our representative, the logistics, I forgot what the department they're working in because my thoughts, I'm trying to do this quickly. They shared with me that one of the biggest non-Muslim entities that they supply these turkeys to every year are I think he said the Latter-day Saints community. They get a large amount of these halal turkeys for Thanksgiving every year to distribute them as everybody else do. They provide them to during the Thanksgiving season. Yeah. So you might have to look for another market. Anyone else? Okay. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to
Yes,
go
I
ahead.
sound like
Be brief. Be real brief. Go ahead.
yeah, I guess briefly I've enjoyed the conversation so far, but I think there's some areas that we have to look at that's got to be addressed, and some of those concerns was kind of expressed because we have people even nowadays in our communities that's trying to follow that principle, Islamic principle of doing halal. But most of them are struggling because, someone mentioned before, they don't get the support. I think organization is probably more what we need, and communication. We got a lot of little areas that need to be addressed to get there, but as you read earlier about how large the market is and really how profitable it can be, because the Jews, they if they in it, they're in it for the profit. It ain't because they're trying to make sure we follow our religion. They're in it because they can make money on it. And I've heard that they were questioned as to why they feel that they could do the halal market, and some of the response was that they have Muslims working for them. Well, that don't give you the right to do the halal, but of course, as long as the people go for it, then of course they will continue to do it. But of course, you cannot get into what they call a kosher market the same way. I don't care who you are or how kosher it is. If you don't go through their procedure, then you don't get in there. And that's however much money you can make off of it, you have to do that. But the Muslims seem to be a lot more lax because we are satisfied with others providing for us what we can provide for ourselves. So I think we got a few issues that we got to address. And one of them, after we address all of those little concerns, or really big concerns, then we have to find a way of how to begin to finance our halal market, because that's the other, and with any business, that's a chief component of the business of being able to get the financing for it. And then we can begin to control our own halal market. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
I
Well,
got much more I can say on that, but since we got
Yes,
a short
sir.
period of time.
Thank you. Well, okay, if there's not anyone, do anyone else have a brief comment to make? All right. Sister Manira, I'm going to close out, if that's okay with you.
Yes, sir. Go right
Okay.
ahead.
Rabbana atina fi dunya hasanatain wa afi akhirati hasanatain wa aqiyada minar. Our Lord bestow good upon us in this life, and bestow good upon us in the life to come, and save us from the torment of the fire. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you, ma'am.
You all are welcome.
Thank you.
Remember Allah, Allah remember you.
Amen.
Amen.
Ameen.
Save yourself and your family. Alhamdulillah.